Welcome back to Switchcast Live. I'm your host, Doug Tabbitt, and with me tonight are Tyler Sanders and Ethan Huffnagel. And Switchcast is the podcast where we seek to educate, edify, and entertain you on the drive of your life. There is so much to cover this week. A lot of interesting news stories, updates in the car world, updates from stuff we talked about the last couple episodes. Man, we are chock full of just fun stuff tonight. So we appreciate you joining us, and we hope you stick around. Feel free to throw your comments and questions in the flow of wherever you're watching live. We appreciate all of you, and we'll do our best to get to those. And if we can't get to your questions during the live portion, we will have Tip Talk, the bonus round afterwards, where we'll do a kind of rapid-fire Q&A. So without further ado, we'll jump right into this. There was a viral reel posted on Instagram, I think this week. I just saw it this morning, but that doesn't mean anything the way the algorithms go. And it was of a dealer buying a 1969 Porsche 911 from the original owner. And the video, the dealer had taken it, and it was of the owner showing them how to start the car, kind of talking about the car, some of the memories of it. And it was a real kind of feel-good story, you know.
There's so many feels.
Yeah, you know, parting with his baby, and you know, it's a circle of life moment, right? We all either have gotten old or will get old to a point where we can't drive the cars that we love anymore. And I've got a lot of those stories where I've bought cars from people because they just couldn't get into them, couldn't get out of them, couldn't push the clutch pedal. And, you know, I think I certainly take for granted the fact that, you know, I guess when you're young, that's kind of a joke, right? But then you start feeling things in your joints, and you're like, oh, maybe it's time to look at a PDK. Creak in my left knee. So, yeah, I actually am worried that I sacrificed potential years of driving a stick shift by trying to extend how long I could dunk.
Bad move.
Right? Yeah, and I jump off of my left leg. So my knee started like really giving me crap.
Was it worth it though?
I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so, because like dunking is just showing off. It wasn't like I played in, you know, some sweet basketball league or
Yeah,
whatever.
You could just dunk.
Yeah, I was just
it.
a short white guy that could dunk, and so it was nice to prove something, but that's it. But
it's
did
nice
I take
to drive
10 years
too.
off of my stick shift driving life by trying to prove something? Maybe.
That's all right. We'll all be ripping past you and making fun of you for not having your own.
You won't be, though, because PDKs are faster. So I will be ripping past you.
We'll be having our smiles will be larger, though, right? We'll be having a better time.
Sure. Well, I'll be driving EVs by then because the government will have forced us to.
Absolutely
anyway.
not.
We won't be driving them. They will be driving us.
Joe Biden tweeted that today. Well, someone on the Biden administration tweeted at his account that America's headed toward an all-electric future. I saw it today. I was going to send it to you.
I just hope there's enough sustainable fuels or whatever so that I can keep driving my stuff on the weekends. That's all I really want.
Yeah.
We just haven't invested in them.
Oh, it seems like we should maybe do that.
EVs.
Hey, Porsche has been doing a lot to invest in some sustainable fuels. I'm all about that. I will buy my Porsche-specific drums of sustainable fuel and sell them my kidneys to still drive my stuff 30 years from now.
Look, I love this world. I want to take care of it. We all do. But, I mean, come on.
I want the explosions to propel me down the road.
EVs aren't actually good for the environment.
Well, like you get into the lithium-ion whatever and all that, I guess.
All right,
we got a lot to get to. We got a lot to get to.
This is an entire podcast episode or 7. So back to the dealer buying the family heirloom 911. I guess it isn't a family heirloom because he didn't pass it down to his kid or whatever. But the comments on this were just filled with vitriol, right? Essentially, how dare this person flip the car for a profit? So the most popular comment with over 16,000 likes was, quote, "The saddest part is he sold it to someone who doesn't care about the car, rather just flipping it to make money," unquote. So how do we feel about that, right? It's a real feel-good story, and everyone's like, nope, this is crap. Shouldn't have gone to a dealer. They're just making money off of him.
I would have rather that it go to somebody who's very passionate and will take care of it and have the same sort of love affair with the car, I guess.
How do you know it didn't, though? It may have just gone there indirectly.
That's true. Possible, and I will admit and concede that a dealer or broker is probably more likely to find a person who will care for the car, maybe than him just listing it on Facebook Marketplace for below market and is going to get a bunch of yahoos, whatever. So it's a possibility, but I think it does ruin some of the feel good vibes to be like, okay, it's a dealer. All right.
Okay, so then that begs the question, if we want to feel good about it, there's two very diametrically opposed opinions on the internet about how you should preserve the history of a car like this that has had one owner. I don't know how many miles he put on it. It might have been 2 million. It might have been 2,000. But some people say, well, it should be somebody that's going to drive it and enjoy it the way that person did. And other people say, oh, you gotta take care of it and preserve it and essentially put it in a bubble. And then the other camp says, well, that's a waste. If it doesn't get driven, it's such a waste. So it's like everybody has an opinion about what should happen with this guy's car.
And nobody's happy. Everybody's angry about it.
Right? The biggest thing they're angry about is it went to a dealer. But I would opine that the dealer is the most likely to find the right home for it. And there's this sentiment within the automotive community that quote-unquote enthusiasts, however you want to define them, have some right that they deserve to get deals on cars, and the dealer shouldn't be in the middle of any two enthusiasts. And my kind of thing is like, well, one, how do you define an enthusiast? And what if the one guy who's selling can't find the right buyer, right? Like, what's wrong with the dealer getting in the middle of it? I mean, I am a dealer, so
I feel like you're a little biased.
Maybe a little biased. All right, what does the commenters think, right? Like, is there something morally wrong with a dealer buying an original owner Porsche for the purpose of profit? Isn't that what the American dream is built on? Right? If he didn't have any kids to leave it to and didn't have any friends that wanted to buy it, is he kind of like what you said, Tyler? Is he going to sit around waiting for a whole bunch of tire kickers? Like, honestly, I've had a lot of customers come to me as a dealer and say, I can't handle dealing with all these pricks that claim to be enthusiasts that are 50-year PCA members, yada, 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 that preach that they're enthusiasts and then waste my time, drag their feet. Well, I need 3 inspections. I got to sell my other car first, but you should sell to me because I'm an enthusiast. And so they take advantage of this status of not being a dealer and labeling themselves enthusiasts to basically just be jerks. And the dealer comes along and says, I'll write you a check.
It's the market, though. I mean, it all comes back to supply and demand, doesn't it? Or opportunity cost. For whatever reason, this individual felt it was in his best interest, because you ultimately do what's in your best interest. It might not be what you quote unquote want to do, but whatever decision you make is always your highest desire to do that. Maybe someone here, maybe one of the three of us would really rather be at home with, your wife, your family, whoever, but we're all here right now because it's our greatest desire to be here. So that person's greatest desire was to sell that car in the moment, and then the market takes it at that point.
He might have known the dealer for the last 30 years.
Or
and
that.
the guy rode in the car and he's like, hey, yeah, I'm not going to keep it for myself, but, I've known you forever, so this is an easy transaction. I think there's an assumption, though, right, that situations like this, that a dealer is not giving fair value to the said customer. That anytime there's an old guy selling his pride and joy, or a widow, or some situation like that, it's like, well, it was probably worth $150,000 and they gave him 30. Like, they stole it from him. And while that happens, that's not usually the case, right? And if he got what let's say he wanted 50 and it was worth 100, Okay. And the dealer didn't like try to convince him that it wasn't worth 100. He just said, if you give me 50, I'm happy. A dealer flipping it for profit is no different than an enthusiast that would come in and also buy it for 50, seeing that they have an opportunity, right? They might keep it for 10 years before they flip it for a profit, but they're still being opportunists, because if you want to really get into the ethics of it, a true enthusiast would show up and say, sir, your car's worth $100,000. I can't take advantage of you like that. That's what a dealer would do. I'm going to give you $100,000 because that's what's fair and right. So I would say that everybody commenting saying that this dealer is in the wrong for buying the car for a profit, or the guy's in the wrong for selling it to a dealer who's going to make a profit, unless they could honestly say that if they were in that position, they would offer the guy more just because it was worth more, then they have no leg to stand on.
Yeah, I mean, that's every business individual, this is what the comments on TikTok are saying, every business individual is trying to make money in some way, shape, or form. There's nothing inherently wrong with that. So, like, on a much...
Until you get into things that are fun.
Maybe.
Realtors are allowed to make money, but car dealers aren't.
So, for instance, this is on a much, much smaller scale, but there's an album I'm trying to buy, a vinyl record I'm trying to buy. I know how much it's worth because I've been following it for a while. I know how much it's getting appraised for. So I've been calling around local stores trying to just see if someone has this thing for a price that I don't think is pretty much like gouging what the album goes for. But because everyone gouges it, that's what the going rate for this thing is. If I found one for like a fraction of that price, I'm not going to tell the person who's selling it, hey, you can charge me, 400 times what this is going for. Now, granted, it's on a much, much smaller scale than, a Porsche here, but it's the same idea. If you have the deal, you're trying to make money. There's nothing inherently immoral about that, to an extent, I guess.
You're also not going to go to the record broker and say, you're such a crook because you're trying to make 300% markup on this.
Also true.
You may just choose, well, I don't want to pay that, or I do.
Also true. Then that's like your opportunity cost, right? How much are you willing? How much is the buyer willing to give at that point in time for it?
I heard a good term when it was discussing companies like Target and some of the other companies that are subscribing to ESG and doing some very controversial things. Bud Light is a great example of that, and how they lost such significant market share. And this other podcast I listened to that I can't remember the name of, doesn't matter, basically said, the free enterprise market is a democracy, and people are voting with their wallets. So, if you don't like that dealer's buying that 911 and flipping it for profit, just don't buy from the dealer.
Right.
Don't harp on the fact that it's immoral, because it's not. Unless they somehow swindled him through the course of negotiations and in some way took advantage of him. That's immoral. But that's not unique to dealers. I know I have customers that do that to their best friends.
For sure.
So
there's no inherent guilt with profit, or at least there shouldn't be. Now, the way that you obtain that profit, for sure, you should feel guilt maybe in whatever avenue you take to do that. But for finding an opportunity where you can actually turn a profit on something and doing it by the book, and everyone is right in the end by what they wanted, what they asked for, what they required. If everyone meets what they were promised, there's nothing wrong with making a profit.
Yeah.
Right?
I have a theory, right? So Porsche, kind of at the forefront of this, but also other manufacturers have made markup over sticker price. Their arbitrary suggested sticker price, they've made that somehow immoral, right? Through different policies, through how they, ban resellers, void warranties, whatever they do. And so they've kind of created this perception among buyers that additional profit above an arbitrary decided upon profit is immoral / maybe even illegal. It's kind of like speed limits, right? Arbitrary speed limit, well, you can go 10 over, but not 50 over. Well, who are you to say you're going 10 over, right? Unless you obey the actual speed limit. Anyway, side trail there. But I almost kind of think, because I had a conversation with the Porsche executive one time, when I was flipping Porsches, and he was extending it beyond just new cars. And he essentially had the opinion that nobody except Porsche dealers should ever sell Porsches. Any of them across like any spectrum. Oh, we're Porsche dealers. We should sell Porsches. And I'm like, oh, okay. That's a real, kind of communistic antitrust opinion there.
I'm not even sure how you
But I
could
feel
get
like
there.
they've kind of planted that seed through making new car flipping immoral, quote unquote, and they've pushed that narrative out there to where people are now just applying that to kind of like any situation. But whatever. On that note, let's pay for the podcast.
Yeah, and Switchcast is brought to you by Boxcast. Boxcast is a live streaming company based in Cleveland, Ohio, and they serve broadcasters and viewers around the world. Their founders launched Boxcast back in 2013 with one purpose: to make people a part of the experience. If you're looking to live stream your podcast, church service, car show, sporting event, wedding, or even your cannonball attempt, Boxcast is an easy and flexible live streaming platform for organizations. Boxcast is so easy, in fact, that we're broadcasting this show with a phone. So head on over to switchcars.com/Boxcast for your free trial. I saw you adjusting your hat over there, and I thought the Corvette curmudgeon came in, but it doesn't look like he's here tonight. So.
No, he's not. No, he's not. But
You got a little tired of Ethan's question last week.
we do miss him.
Yeah, miss that guy.
I think he had to watch Jeopardy or something. It's a special episode.
I respect that.
Yeah, Jeopardy rock.
Keno Championship.
That's more like it.
So, speaking of dealers, we're gonna go to the Scaminator. This is not a scam in progress, but one that happened. And there was an article from News 5 Cleveland this week that a local dealer called Amherst Classic Cars was fake. The Cleveland Better Business Bureau is warning consumers who are looking to buy a vehicle online that they need to do their homework before sending out any money. Oh, wow, the Better Business Bureau is actually doing something. Yeah. Does anyone even still use them at all? They call me and hit me up and try to get me to pay for accreditation, and I'm like, oh no.
Are you BBB accredited?
No, I used to be, and then I realized it was a scam in and of itself. Like, it meant nothing. You just pay them the $400 a year.
It's a badge you get on your website or whatever.
Yeah, and then I stopped doing it, and they, some of the pushiest salesmen I've ever encountered in my life, I told them no dozens of times, and finally I'm just like, you need to stop calling me. Like, this is insane. So, yeah, not a fan of the BBB. Anyway, but goodness gracious, they can find a scam dealer. But it's not really that hard. So what they were using, Amherst Classic Cars was advertising on the web and on Facebook, but the real Amherst Classic Cars had closed more than 5 years ago. So the bogus auto dealer was using pictures of classic cars that were stolen from other places, classified sites, other dealer websites, etc., and advertising them as real. And they were very pushy. They didn't let people inspect in person. They said, oh, we've got another buyer on the hook. You got to pay us now. You got a wire transfer. And that's how they were getting people.
Scam.
But, well, not necessarily, right? So the author of the article, McConnell, said, somebody from the BBB, McConnell, said that, quote, you had to pay for the vehicle in full up front. You had to wire the funds. That's always a typical payment that scammers want, is wired funds. Now, I take issue with that because I'm like, that doesn't mean they're a scammer. That's always a typical payment that all dealers want because it's the most secure for the seller. Like, I want wire transfer. I will take other forms of payment, but that doesn't mean it's a scam. Scammers actually love other types of funds that are not as easily traceable, like Western Union. That's an immediate red flag. Or if a scammer says, hey, let's do it through escrow or through the eBay secure payment system, which doesn't exist, right? Although I guess it does now. eBay does their own payments. But anytime they say the word secure or say this is how we should do it because it's secure, it's a huge red flag. Wire transfer is not a red flag. Wire transfer just means that once you've sent the money, you can't get it back. So a wire transfer just means, hey, I need to make sure I do all of my homework. Now, this is actually a really easy one, right? So this is not a new scam with car dealers essentially using a legitimate business address from another dealer. It's been going on for over a decade, and they'll actually sign up for third-party advertising websites like Cars.com and AutoTrader and get accounts and will look like they have a real inventory. So a little bit of digging, though, will turn up the real facts. And in this case, all you had to do was Google AmherstClassicCars.com or Amherst Classic Cars. Their address comes up. The first result is MapQuest.
Yeah.
There's a red flag. What is MapQuest? The next is Yelp, which I feel like that's kind of like nobody uses Yelp for car dealers.
No.
Right.
I feel like if your first two results aren't your actual website and your Facebook profile, something's probably a little shady.
Well, even they did keep their Facebook profile up longer than their website. After their website went down, their Facebook stayed up. So Facebook is not a guarantee that they're not a scam. But even on Yelp, it said Amherst Classic Cars closed. So, I mean, a very quick Google search of whoever you're buying something from is a no-brainer, right? Just like, okay, do they have recent Google reviews? Yes or no? You know, what are the recent ones like? And even like in the case of CNC Exotics, that was a legit dealer and then became a scam dealer, like they had a 4.8 star rating on Google reviews, which you'd at a glance say, oh, they're fine. But if you went to newest, they were all super bad. So you could see where they had like a decade-long plus track record of great business, and then, oops, now they're screwing people. So there's some more advanced tactics to finding out if a dealer's a fake dealer. I mean, the biggest red flag is, are the cars underpriced? That's the first one. But like I used to do like Google Street View, right? Because it's like if you Google their address, okay, it comes up with that dealer name. So it's like, all right, I'll go to Google Street View. And in one case, it was like this dilapidated gas station, and it was very obvious that nobody and no cars had been there for a very, very long time. And then across the street, there was a legitimate exotic car dealer. So I called them, and I was like, hey, what's across the street from you? Is this a dealer? And they just laughed. They're like, no, absolutely not. Used to be, long time ago. And
it's so easy to do so much research nowadays.
It's so easy.
Just take a look. Take 15 minutes. Do a little bit of investigating. You'll probably realize if something's legit or not.
Most states have online dealer search, so you can go online and see the status of their license. Like, you know, you can see who the registered agent of the company is. Like, you can go crazy, but you don't really have to. So thank you, News 5 Cleveland, for the story. Real nail biter there for those of us that have been down this road before. But for those of you who haven't, that is just because it's a dealer online does not mean it's real. Speaking of dealers, oh man, this one's good. This one did not even make it to Shrewd Negotiator because we've got a good one for that. But our friend Arnab, good car guy, good friend of mine, listener of the podcast, sent us this one. He's been looking for Cayman GT4s. And he sent us this listing online. And this is from a Porsche dealer. And bear with me because it's a little bit long. But goodness gracious, is it worth it? Maybe. Well, you can tell me afterwards. So this is a Cayman GT4, 2016 Cayman GT4.
All right.
Good car, fantastic. One of the best driver's cars, I think, out there. But in a spellbinding unveiling, Porsche Greenwich is thrilled to showcase this enchanting certified pre-owned Cayman GT4. This extraordinary GT4, having been nurtured within our very domain, possesses an impeccable service record standing as a testament to meticulous care. Untouched by the shadow of accidents, unsullied by smoke, its pristine essence is attested by the untarnished pages of its Carfax history. Side note, I usually just say clean Carfax. A symphony of mechanical artistry awaits, for our adept artisans have just orchestrated a magnum opus, a comprehensive 111-point Porsche-approved certified checklist, which it has gracefully surpassed, earning its laurels in resplendent hues. Bestowed upon this bewitching chariot is the exalted mantle of Porsche certification, entailing an unlimited mileage embrace that extends for a luxurious span of 2 years from the day of acquisition. Thus, relish the embrace of your Porsche, assured that time itself shall bow to this spell of protection. I'm not done. But heed this call with urgency, for the path to possession might be swift. Reach out through the portals of call or email and stake your claim before this Cayman GT4 finds its home within another's private sanctuary. Embarking upon its chronicle of grandeur, this GT4 unveils an extensive service history, capitalized, a saga of meticulous attention. Aluminum footrest and pedals stand as artifacts of elegance. Side note, I'm pretty sure on some of the models, I don't know if it's a GT4, it's not actual aluminum. They call it aluminum look. But no, they're artifacts of elegance. It's like manufactured cheese product.
Why is it on a shelf? It's cheese. Why isn't it in the fridge?
It's like that would be like using dairy reduction to describe cheese spread.
Are you done? You still got more to go.
I've got more. All
right.
While the fire extinguisher adds a dash of preparedness to its allure, behold the fuel tank cap in its aluminum luminary, gleaming with distinction. The embrace, they already used that word, the embrace of full bucket seats invites a heightened connection between driver and machine, while the passenger footwell storage net, side note, that's a zero cost option, grants convenience without compromising grace. That's a $20 description for a zero cost option. Paid more for the words. At its core, I'm not done. At its core lies the PCM module, an interface to technology's symphony.
Oh.
The aegis of Porsche ceramic composite brakes ensures mastery over the realm of speed. Adorned in racing yellow, the seatbelts announce their allegiance to performance. Within, stitching in contrasting color weaves an intricate tapestry of individuality. The exterior bears witness to the satin black poetry is capitalized, gracing the wheels and satin attire, a testament to poised power. Behold the wheels, 20-inch GT4, radiating an aura of distinction. The wing supports, draped in enigmatic black, render a final note of elegance to this symphony of design. A magical odyssey awaits, an opportunity to etch your story into the annals of this Cayman GT4's journey.
Come on.
Is that a joke?
That is someone who went to ChatGPT and said, "Write me a description in like the style of J.R.R. Tolkien or something."
Yeah,
like
they wrote that at the company's Renaissance fair.
That is ChatGPT all the way. Not a doubt in my mind.
That was my question. I'm like, is this ChatGPT or like somebody that was hired to write descriptions and just had a thesaurus next to them? Like, man, I'm gonna be awesome at this.
They had a word count to fill, I tell you.
Yeah.
It's like a high schooler trying to write an impressive paper, right? Just like throwing in words that they've never heard of. Golly.
That's brutal.
You know, I bet you they had to ask more for the car because they spent so much on this description. Like, it was probably like $1,000 more expensive than
they had to hire a copywriter to write that, and then, they ain't cheap.
So I've read somewhere, there was a study done that when writing descriptions for cars, even fancy cars, it is counterproductive to use big words or fancy terminology because it comes across as condescending, maybe even pedantic. I'd say pedantic if I knew what that word meant, but that didn't stop this person. The simplest, clearest word will do, and they totally violated that. So, in short, be laconic.
Ugh. Is it time for intermission? I'm exhausted after listening.
Favorite words to use because nobody knows what it is, so I can come across as condescending. Oh my gosh! Whew.
I think you
we
need
a commercial break after that one.
Yeah, goodness.
I'm so sorry, everybody.
I should have prepared this in a very similar fashion to really just keep the bit going, but
throw in
Switchcast is
ChatGPT.
brought to you by Celebrity Machines. Celebrity Machines is proud to sponsor Switchcast, and they offer more than 250 different screen-accurate license plates as they've appeared in movies and TV shows, such as Back to the Future, Ghostbusters, The Fast and the Furious, Breaking Bad, and so many more. Celebrity Machines also makes our dealer insert plates, as well as our commemorative 2539 plates from the fastest cannonball run ever. So head on over to celebritymachines.com for more info and use promo code SWITCHCAST to save 25.39% at checkout.
If I sent an inquiry in on that Cayman GT4, I kind of want to email and be like, can I please have the salesperson that wrote this description?
Is it still up?
I think so, yeah. It's on Car Gurus. And be like, you have to talk to me the same way that you wrote this description. I will not accept normal conversation.
Yeah, if you want to sell this car, you got to commit to the bit, bro.
That's fantastic. So good.
At what point could I be escorted in by my chariot for an appointment to behest and behold the exciting annals of this vehicle during a test excursion? Golly.
Sorry, sir, we don't offer test excursions.
Partial ownership experience excursions. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, so, kit cars. We still have submissions coming in for kit cars, because a while ago I issued a challenge that there was never any kit cars for sale that needed nothing. They all had needs, even if they were described as, just it's almost done, just needs a battery. There's always a need. We had one from Bobby in Arizona. And I thought I was going to have to pay out because he said he was finding lots and lots of kit cars that needed nothing in the Arizona Craigslist. He said it was a great place to find ones that quote unquote need nothing. But I realized he has the same sense of humor that I do, because the one that he sent me was it was a fiberglass body that loosely resembled a Dodge Viper RT10. With what appeared to be a small block Chevy engine with some stuff sticking out of the hood, which the Viper definitely never had, and an automatic transmission. The description was, quote, "Great project, runs, needs brakes bled and throttle adjusted, some finished stuff." Bleeding the brakes takes about half an hour. And throttle adjusted, it sounds like it barely runs. Sure, man, just tighten the cable.
It'll be fine.
And some finished stuff. That should be said about every single kit car. They all need some finished stuff. So, yep, once again, kit cars that are not done. The Shrewd Negotiator. Oh, my goodness. So... This is a great one. So the Shrewd Negotiator, once again, is somebody who is very much not a shrewd negotiator, but they are attempting to be through either their price tactics or their descriptions, or some way trying to be really smart, but coming up short. And this one was a marketplace find, as usual, and it was a 1980 Porsche 911 Targa. With an RSR Outlaw tribute with fresh satin white paint. VIN is to be announced, I think, provided upon asking, which is always fun. They're asking $63,000, which seems on the surface of it a reasonable price for a 1980 Targa with some great parts on it, if it's done right. Interesting description here. Fresh build, maybe 330 miles since motor was thrown back in. Not the verb I would
Hopefully
use.
They did a little bit more than just chuck it in the back. That'll be fine. Hook up some hoses, put some bolts in.
Maybe you should have talked to the writer at Porsche of Greenwich to come up with a better verb there. New interior, beige leather with tartan suede, aluminum race mats, blah, 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 blah. Pirelli tires with an absolute monster 345 back tire. New custom headlights and turn signal programmed. Not sure what that means. Beautiful stainless steel custom exhaust hand built for the Porsche, which always worries me because there's so many exhausts available for classic Porsche Outlaws that if you hand built it, like what didn't fit right?
Yeah.
Hold on. Okay, so this is a Porsche Targa, which means there's a removable Targa top, like that comes standard. That's part of the car. But his description, no top on the car, one can be included for additional price.
How much and why?
Why is the better question.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm selling a car. It doesn't have wheels, but I'll throw them in for more money. Like, it's a Targa. That's the Targa top is part of, that's like what defines Targa. The motor was removed, painted, and heavily detailed, but it was not rebuilt.
What?
Why would you pull it out and not rebuild? I painted it.
Why would you paint it and detail it? Not who cares what it looks like?
You know what
Rebuild
they
it.
painted?
The
what? Fan.
Of course they did. It's a Porsche
That
Outlaw.
was it. Like, what would you paint on the motor on a flat 6? You can't see any of it. You can see like the heads and the fan shroud. You can't even see the heads. I'm an idiot. The heads, it's a flat motor. You see the heads from the underside. Oh gosh, you see like the intake. But oh gosh. Yep. Runs well, beyond well. Brakes are tight. The shop that painted cars said I needed to replace the rear light wiring harness that was on back order from Pelican Parts. All running lights and brake lights work, but signals don't. My mechanic informed me that
The world may never know.
Wow. That's a bummer.
Yeah.
That's probably the most important thing in that entire listing. That they just
Right?
The mechanic informed me that
reached their character limit.
Yeah.
That you
I
want.
think it's telling
That, you
that
need to
I should
rebuild the
quit
engine.
while I'm ahead,
Yeah. Yeah. It's a sign.
both in writing this description and with the car. Wow. Oh, man.
We'll never know.
There's a lot reading between the lines there. I like that he said both the had custom headlights and turn signal programmed, but then later on said all lights work but signals don't.
Well, but saying something is programmed implies that it doesn't work, because you would say it worked if it did.
I've never had to have turn signals programmed on a car that was prior to like 2005.
What if they're like fancy schmancy LEDs or something?
Maybe. I have LED lights on my 1978 911 Outlaw build, and they didn't require programming. Also, they work. And the top is
Chalk that up
included.
into the W column for... Well, yours is attached. If it was removed, it would be a little different.
Oh, gosh.
I just can't imagine, even if that is market, I can't imagine asking somebody to pay $63,000 and I can't even spend the 5 minutes to make a good listing.
The kind of crappy part of it is, like, you look at the photos and it's very obvious it's not worth it. Like, the panel fitment is beyond awful. It's worse than a Corvette C5 interior.
Oh, boy.
It's bad. Yeah.
Yeesh.
Last week we read a crazy attempt at negotiations from a prince
Ooh, yes, we did.
For those of you that don't remember it, I'll recap it quickly, or you can just go to switchcast.live and catch up on old episodes like last week's. But somebody offered me $60,000 for a $115,000 car and said that they needed it to be their God had told them that it was their chariot of choice to proclaim the works of their Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Ministry
it was
mobile.
Ministry mobile. So we found Arnob once again found this guy's website. He is a writer, motivational speaker, a model it looks like, and an Olympic hopeful. He's a worldwide best-selling author, and you can find his books on Amazon. The Mabry Destined Effect. Volume 2 has 1 rating on Amazon of 1 star.
Doesn't every
these, don't we?
author claim to be best-selling?
You can buy it brand new for $100, or there are 5 used from $4.75.
I think we've made enough in Super Chats to make this happen, boys. We got to start a book club.
Oh, no.
No, we can't do that to Brother... What was his name? Brother Thomas? Or what?
No. He was referring to our guy as Brother Thomas. This is Mabry Destined. Oh, man.
Oh,
that's worse resale value than a Mercedes AMG from the 90s.
That's depreciation.
Oh, it's free on
Golly.
Kindle.
Free on Kindle, you say?
I do say.
Wait, but there's more. The Mabry Destined Effect Volume 3 has 3 ratings, and he's up to 2.8 stars.
Hey.
This is great. From the review from a gullible tourist, not everything that shines is gold. I had hoped for an inspiring read. I forced myself to read amateur writing and inconsistent weird stories about the author's time in university. A bit vulgar. Not recommended. But the 5-star was, I read this book and I have become so enlightened I'm floating. I can't touch the ground. Please send help. The ceiling fan is drawing me ever nearer.
Oh, we need a book club, guys. I want to read these.
Oh, that's a great review.
Guys, viewers here, you can go on Amazon, The Mabry Destined Effect. This is the guy that...
Is there a volume 1?
I hope not. That would be so freaking funny. That would be so great. Everyone's perpetually looking for volume 1. Can't find it nowhere.
Oh, man. So this guy is not going to be buying my Ferrari to proclaim the gospel of his Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Is he even like? Does he even say he's like a pastor or ordained or anything? Like that's not a part of his
bio.
brand?
Let's see. He's a Ghanaian prince, singer, dancer, songwriter, top model, 2X best-selling author, actor, and Olympic hopeful. He's also a humanitarian, the founder of the Mabry Destined Foundation, and the author of the inspirational book series, The Mabry Destined Effect, The Journey to the Kingdom of Heaven.
Guys, okay.
Guys, there's an Instagram.
Oh, here we go.
Ethan, you better put that link in the episode description.
Yeah. The Mabry
So Arnob found him... he's I can't find the link, but Arnob found somewhere that he was asking for sponsorship, and when you go on the sponsorship page, there's like options for amounts. The default amount when you land on the sponsorship page, anyone want to guess it?
$100.
That was probably
$100,000. The minimum amount is $1,000. The maximum default is $999,999.
He apparently sold over $250,000 in books at some point.
No.
To his mom.
And he's posted some Boxsters that I think he might have.
Is
owned
it a
at
yellow
some point.
Boxster?
Yeah.
Yes, that's the one that he bought from
really?
Portia Beechwood. Yes, so that's like
that's
how we came
Dumper's
across this
boy,
guy
yeah.
originally. He had inquired on that. His offer was quite a bit more reasonable than half price that he offered on the Ferrari. But
he put a black plate with yellow lettering that said Prince Mabry on it on the front. It's amazing.
That's
and
interesting.
hashtagged manifest through Jesus Christ as he's sitting in it with his shirt off. This is a vibe.
What's the Instagram handle?
He's going to get like...
It's just Mobry Destined.
Mobry Destin.
All right, everybody head over to @MobryDestin. Don't troll him. Don't troll him. Just follow him. Give him a boost. Give him a boost.
He says 2-time best-selling author. Where is Volume 1?
We'll
We
never
need to
know.
No, Volume 2 and Volume 3 are the best-selling
But
ones.
Volume 1 has to exist.
It's a great marketing tactic, though. Just
It's brilliant.
sink people into
It's
your.
when
I'm
you
in.
start a business, your first invoice is like 2,342.
Start exactly.
Yeah.
Start strong. Make them know that you've done this before. This ain't your first rodeo. It's your second. Turns out for this guy.
Oh man. Somebody suggested that we get him on the podcast.
I'm all for it, man. I am all for it.
I would feel badly though, because it'd be like, hey, you may think that we're taking you seriously, but we're really having you on to troll you, because the whole concept of all of this is so ridiculous.
I
Like-
I don't even know if it's trolling. I would want an honest. I want some insight into this guy's mind. He's a fascinating individual.
That's true,
Very much so.
but it'd be like having Michael Scott come present at your business school. You want an insight into his mind, but not for the right reasons. Like, you're not thinking like, this guy is brilliant, I want to know how to become like him. I want to glean information. You know, I wonder if Prince Mabry wrote the description for that Porsche dealer.
It seems kind of like the same. That's his job. That's how he gets some money.
I want to give the guy the benefit of the doubt. I really do. But that offer was so absurd. It's hard.
Listen,
It's hard to reconcile these things.
everybody has their thing. I am incredibly weird to people who are of a different ilk from me, right? And if this guy offered me a normal amount, then I would like, okay, I'd get a little giggle and we'd laugh internally at the dealer at how he talked and stuff like that. But I'd be like, okay, I respect how you do business.
Sure.
So that kind of carries weight, right? So I don't respect people because they say they're Christians and then give them a pass in business. I respect them based on how they do business. And then if that aligns with their stated values, then I say, okay, I respect you more. So I give people respect based on their actions, especially when it comes to money, because money seems to be the equalizing force
It tends to be, yeah.
with people's ethics, right? So if he bought a car and the transaction was awesome, I'd be like, okay, this guy's weird, but he's doing something right and I respect him. And we might read his email on the podcast, but I give him credit. But when you offer half and expect to be taken seriously, and you have a website like this, it's too good. Sorry. Not sorry. If he comes back and pays $115,000 for the Ferrari, then I'll be sorry.
We'll go on an apology tour.
Well, I don't know.
Maybe not that.
I'm going to find this
Oh,
volume
gosh.
one.
We'll buy the book.
We're going to find his volume 1. Anyway, yes, we have to have a Switchcast book club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enter Switchcast on princemaubrey.com for a 10% discount on volume 2.
You could try it.
We're talking about getting new
You still have
sponsorship.
to pay
opportunity.
$90 for a book.
Doggone it, that's right.
That's
Yeah,
a lot of
people
money
on-
for a book.
There's people on eBay asking $90 for it. That's like used.
It's probably him.
It's
Well read. Yeah, he's trying to pawn off all the used copies that he bought from his own
Right.
inventory.
Sold him to his own LLC. And yeah.
It's a
Oh,
vicious
man.
cycle, man.
Well, if you like pre-order them or pre-print them, right? Like maybe he ordered 250,000, then it just didn't sell. But it's like, well, they sold because they sold to me from the
Somebody bought
production
'em.
company.
Yeah.
I didn't sell 250,000. The production company did. Oh goodness! One more commercial, and then we'll go to the appraiser.
Yeah,
And if you
ooh.
have some questions, throw them in. We'll try to get to some of those during the regular portion of the show.
Yes, Switchcast is brought to you by Nuts for Sticks. Nuts for Sticks is a brand celebrating the manual transmission in all of its forms. So forget the flappy paddles because we like shifting ourselves. Check out our fun and funny stick-themed shirts at nutsforsticks.com and save 10% on your order using the discount code SWITCHCAST. That is nutsforsticks.com and use code SWITCHCAST.
Ethan last week got a ticket in the mail
Yes,
from the cameras.
Yeah, allegedly.
And I said, don't pay it. You'll never get anything in collections. Well, this week, something came in the mail. Not to me, to some trust that I may or may not have any affiliation with. I don't know. But yes, Municipal Collections of America. The client name is the City of Girard, and they want their money for the ticket. So, it's too bad that the trust has no affiliation with me, and the trust doesn't know who was driving. But
that's a shame.
It's
just FYI.
Yeah.
That might become a real thing. I don't know if they actually report to credit report or whatever, but I don't think the trust happens to care. But
The trust
have a credit score. Doesn't have
I don't know. You don't need to. You trust them.
Yeah.
The trust could tell the whoever it was, the collections or whoever, who was driving the car, because that is very much what they want. Right?
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Fill in name here.
Yeah. Anyway, so just some thoughts there. I don't know if I don't know. I've paid some of the ones I've gotten. I've not paid other ones. Usually, if they're out of state, I don't bother. I've gotten ones to the dealership, I think, and I'm like, well, it's good luck proving who is driving. Like, you can't. Yeah,
it could be literally anybody.
Anyway, so
going on an excursion, a pre-purchase excursion,
right? Let's see. So the appraiser is where we look up cars online, auctions, and try to guess what they're going to go for. And we've got kind of a running tally of who's missed by more.
Do we have to do this week?
Yes,
Can we
do.
Just skip it.
Yes, we do. And I'm just in just as bad of a spot as you are. So for you, let's start with me. Last week I had a 6,000 mile 2015 Aston Martin V8 Vantage GT 6-speed. Blah 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 blah. I guessed 120 grand, and it sold for
69.
Right.
Not very nice for your the percentage miss.
Yes.
There.
And I feel really stupid because like some of the ones you picked for me, I'm like, I don't really know those, but I'm gonna throw out a guess. But like I know these cars. I've bought and sold multiple V8 Vantage and V12 Vantage this year. And I'm actively looking on behalf of a client, so I'm following the market. Like, I know what they go for, and I had a brain fart last week. I have no idea why. I must have been thinking V12.
You were just pitying me because you knew that my guess was going to be so bad that you had to even it out a little
Probably.
bit.
And it was. But I still, I don't know where that number came from. I literally think I was thinking V12 or something like that. Whatever. Excuses. You had 2006 Range Rover Supercharged Sport in the launch color Vesuvius orange. You guessed 35 grand, much to our immediate entertainment.
Yeah, it was. I knew I messed up.
And it went, high bid. It did not sell at 16 grand.
So for those of you keeping track at home, that is a 118% miss.
People are going to stop asking our advice pretty soon.
Well, hopefully nobody was asking my advice in the first place. I'm just here for fun.
I swear.
That color's cool, though. I don't know.
I've only actually missed on 8 cars this year at our dealership, right? So I've made money on all but 8 cars this year and all but 8 cars last year. So, I do know what I'm doing in reality, but I guess not in practice.
I just keep picking this weird stuff.
Usually it's the other way around. All right, what do you got for me next week?
All right, so for you next week, I was not kind because I don't think you have any idea what these go for.
I'm going to Google it real quick.
That's fine. So this is on P-Car Market,
these go for.
But it is not a P-Car. This is a 1972 Lancia. That's how you say that, right? Lancia?
Yeah.
Fulvius Sport 1.3S Zagato. These cars are gorgeous. Very much enjoy. That's on PCAR Market, by the way. I'm going to want you to get eyes on this because I don't think you have any idea what this will go for.
I did actually scroll past that one today when I was looking for yours.
There's just something about the front end of these that I really, really enjoy. So it's this Zagato-bodied Lancia sports car that probably has an awesome sounding engine. Stuff you just kind of don't see anymore. This is for sale in Florida. Clean title, but it's a European car, so Carfax doesn't really matter. 92,000 kilometers, but it only has a 5-digit odometer, so who knows if it's been rolled over.
What year is it again?
72.
Is it a 1600 or 1300?
1.3S. Are you actually Googling values right now?
No.
No,
not at all. All right.
It has a prominent chrome grille and triple air inlets with a sloping rear window. If I could play the audio of what they sound with, then they sound really good too.
They are a pretty car. Wild guess. I'm going to say, how many miles on it?
There's 92,000 kilometers.
Okay.
Only 5-digit odometer.
Presentation score?
I think it is presented fairly well. It's not blowing my socks off. It's, I would say, above average.
Okay. $36,727.
That is very specific.
What's the current bid at?
$4,000.
Okay, cool.
But it's got 5 days left.
I'd be worried if you're it's at $80,000. Whoops.
I would have been giggling over here.
All right, here's one for you. And yes, I did guess a number before I looked some of this stuff up on this one that I'm giving you. So I'm curious where yours comes in. This is also on PCAR Market. It is a 1974 Porsche 911 Carrera 2.7 MFI coupe. So essentially, Tyler, if you're not familiar with those, which I think you should be, it is a 73 911 RS mechanically. So it is the 2.7 liter engine, mechanical fuel injection, and all the fun suspension bits, 911S brakes, et cetera, but in the updated impact bumper body style. They did not bring them to the U.S. because of smog requirements, because they made too much power. Yeah. And so they couldn't choke them with the emissions equipment. It has sport seats with fabric, kind of plaid-ish fabric, very 70s inserts. It has 99,000 kilometers, also a 5-digit odometer. It is silver on black and looks to be very, very clean.
This is hot.
Reputable seller in Scottsdale, Arizona.
Thank God it doesn't have sugar scoops.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. Sorry, I'm getting very distracted.
Sure.
I'm getting all hot and bothered over here.
All right. Well, pick a number.
So it's essentially a Carrera RS? It isn't, but mechanically.
Mechanically, it's a Carrera RS. But with an updated body. It's the simplest way to say it. Some Porsche experts will take issue with that, but I'm trying to distill it down very quickly.
I have no idea what this should actually be worth, but I'm guessing a lot. You are so excited right now. I'm going to go 132.
132,000.
Yeah.
Cool. You're wrong.
What was your guess?
Okay, good guess. My guess was 220. So, you're not going to like this fact. I could have helped you out with this.
That's fine. I don't deserve
but I
it.
didn't.
I gave you
the
a
car
lunch.
sold a couple of years ago. This exact same car sold on Bring a Trailer for $206,000.
Yikes.
So, we'll see how. Well, I know how far you're off. I'm going to bid 132,000 right now for you, just because. How do I bid?
How do I bid?
Oh, place
Doug,
bid.
You're a car dealer. You should know how to do this.
Hold on. Can I turn on sounds here? Are we going to get this?
Is this actually going to happen?
$32,000. I'm going to bid just for you, Tyler.
I can't wait to see
ding. Oh, did you hear it?
I did. I heard the little ding.
Podcast
and it just refreshed on my screen too.
All
132.
Right. It's green. I wonder if that means reserve Matt. No, it just means I'm the high bidder. I would take that home for 132,000. Okay.
Yowza. All right. Yeah, stick a fork in me. I'm done. The longer we do this, it'll just get worse.
That's all right. I may have cheated a little bit on the Lancia. Bonus round. Okay, remember the 2008 Boxer limited edition that you picked for me last week?
Yeah.
It got bid to $31,000 on Cars and Bids. There's a discount because it was Canadian, and I guess $35,000. That car is already relisted on P-Car Market. The exact same car, and the high bid currently is $30,000, which is where it stood when we were guessing on P-Car Market. So the bonus round is you and I are both going to guess a number because we know what it should go for, and whoever's closest gets some arbitrary prize. We might get to, like, I don't know, maybe strike one of our biggest misses or something from the spreadsheet, or I don't know. But Tyler, what is your guess?
32,500.
Okay, I'm going to say...
Is it already at 30? Did you just...
No, it's at 30. Okay. I'm going to say 32,501.
Oh, my God. Oh, no.
Fine, 30. I'm going to do the Dwight Schrute. 32,501 penny.
What was going to be your guess before I said mine?
Probably 34.
Okay.
I'll be fair. I'll say 34,000. All right. 30,000. Okay. It is time for the props and flops, and we are out of time during this regular recorded segment for questions, but again, stick around, live viewers. We will do tip talk afterwards, and of course, if you throw your questions in with a donation, we are sellouts here, and you will go to the top of the list. So, props and flops are brought to you by Switch Cars. Switch Cars is the enthusiast dealership where we buy, sell, consign, service, and store only cars that we like ourselves. Check out our hand-picked inventory at switchcars.com. Tyler's pick of the week from Switch Cars inventory is...
a amazing Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution. Is it an 8? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's silver over this like black interior, some really good inserts. It's mostly stock.
And it's an
cool.
MR.
Oh, I forgot about that bit. It's really cool.
It's just under 100,000 miles, and it is, like he said, mostly stock, mostly original paint, and no rust. It's a California car, so that alone makes it rare.
It is rare. My Mitsubishi Lancer is rare because clean, unmodded.
It's like finding a not rare Corvette. They're so rare that
exactly.
Because they're not rare. Yes. Flop of the week. Flop of the week was last week's podcast because we walked outside and apparently had like a concrete nuclear winter. The ever popular "What did you drive to the podcast?" video that I do became a look at all the cars that have to get professionally detailed thing. The neighbor across the street is a gravel, concrete, etc. supply company, and allegedly a disgruntled employee turned on a blower to blow concrete dust into the air just before we started the podcast. So we came out to all of our cars and the entire property covered in concrete dust, although we didn't know it at the time. We found out the next morning. So it was a crazy scramble to try to get cars detailed and get the concrete dust out. And we're still kind of working through that situation. Thankfully, the majority of our inventory is inside, but of course, everybody that was here for the podcast.
And Doug, what did you drive tonight to the podcast?
My Corvette.
Yeah, I noticed something really interesting when I walked in. You left the top down. I'm not going to say it's going to happen again, but
lightning never strikes twice.
That is a bold strategy.
Well, might not have been the greatest idea, but I'm hoping that alleged disgruntled ex-employee is in jail now, but I really don't know.
Goodness. Yeah, it kind of sucked. We thought it was pollen because it's so dark outside. We're like, what is this? That's weird.
Yeah, just instant covering of pollen over everything in August. We had an adventure this week, too. We had the fire department here today because we set the fire alarm off by starting a GT3 in the showroom. Now, it's not because there's something wrong with the car. It's a flat 6 Metzger engine, and it is dry sump, so the oil likes to just, sit in the cylinder. So when you fire them up, it's large smoke cloud, and it was just right that it got the smoke alarm. So we had a little visit.
Is that the prop of the week?
What? No, actually, hold on. This is the scanner transmission.
Got a call from the alarm company. They're not canceling. They're just advising that it was fumes from starting a vehicle. Okay, cancel N1, ladder 2. Ship them in. We'll get you in. Ladder 2 copies canceled.
They had a lot of fire trucks on the way.
That's fantastic.
Fumes from starting a vehicle.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they know that if a fire alarm goes off here, that it could be the apocalypse. So I told them, I said, listen, we have good insurance. Just stand back and hose it off from a distance. The prop of the week. I was down in Atlanta this weekend filming, catching up on some VinWiki stories. So for those of you that have missed me with every bullet in your gun on VinWiki, I'll be back soon. But the big prop was Jamie Sullins, the operations manager at Panos LLC. Some of you don't even know what that is. It's a boutique American car manufacturer who has also been very successful in American Le Mans and at Le Mans themselves. And he arranged a private showing of the museum and kind of their prototype factory. They had all their prototypes and engines and all sorts of stuff, their racing cars, their street cars. And he gave us a wonderful tour of really the entire history of that company. It was really, really neat. So for you, those who don't know what Panos is, go look it up. It's a really neat company that has made some pretty fantastic cars. Coincidentally, we visited on September 11th, which was 5 years to the day of their founder, Don Panos' passing. And we toured his office, which was originally another building, but had been perfectly replicated by his son. They had taken all the stuff from his other office and built it out exactly as it was, to the point where they even had his day planner on his desk from 2018. And it was kind of sad because, I walked up to his desk, and on his day planner, there was only one thing, and it was the day we're there, right? So it was September 11th, and it just said 7:05 a.m., come to Jesus meeting.
Oof.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, that great company, incredible man, great impact. Not a lot of people don't know the impact that they had on the automotive industry, but they've done some really cool things. So kind of one of those fly under the radar companies that car people know about, but then when people see an AIV Roadster in my showroom, they're just like, oh, is that a Prowler? No, it's not. No, it's not. Anyway, thank you all for joining us once again. This ends our regular segment of the program, but stick around, live viewers, after for Tip Talk, a rapid-fire Q&A session. Thank you to our sponsors, Boxcast, Nuts for Sticks, Switch Cars, Celebrity Machines, Parallel Printworks, and Stephen Holm Woodworking, our producer, Ethan Huffnagel, and our Ed McMahon, Tyler Sanders. Our bumper music is provided by Emily and Ivory. You can stream their full album on Spotify or SoundCloud. This episode will be available next Monday in audio format wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out switchcast.live to catch up on old episodes and to find your favorite place to download the podcast. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next Wednesday at 8 p.m. as we look forward to edifying, educating, and entertaining you on the drive of your life. Cue applause track.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jim.
We do have Mo sent us a super chat on YouTube right before the end of the show to extend our appraiser, I think.
Oh, no.
There is a yeah. There is a 1985 Mercedes-Benz 300 CD that is silver on Bring a Trailer. What are your guesses?
Miles?
I'm guessing price. Oh,
that's a diesel.
sorry.
The diesel coupe, right?
103,000.
Okay.
It seems to be in really good shape. It's got a blue interior.
Ooh.
This looks really clean, actually.
I don't think those are highly desirable. I think that's like a 10 or 12K plus or minus type of deal.
I don't know if it. Well, I'd probably say 15 to 17. It's at 13,250 now.
Oh, I guess I'm wrong then. That's great information to start with, you know. 300
You could have looked it up. I
CD.
told you where it was.
And
it's a turbo.
So
it's like a 2-door
yeah.
situation.
Yep.
4-speed.
The 300D sedans are very, very undesirable. I think those are like $5 to $6 grand plus or minus. 300 CD turbo diesel coupe.
It's really clean, honestly. Like, it looks really nice.
Screw it. 20 grand?
I guess
Will
we'll
we
have
know
to
by
find
next
out.
week? What's your number? We need to just do an over-under. Mo, what's the over-under? And then Tyler will pick one, and I'll pick the other. I'll get stuck with the other, I guess.
Yeah, Mo, let us know what the over-under is, and then I'll embarrass myself again.
All right. Next question. Ethan, what do you got on TikTok?
Yeah, we can go over to TikTok. I'll be real. It's been a little bit quiet, or my feed just isn't refreshing, but...
Darn Spectrum again.
Yeah, let's just blame Spectrum. Here's one. TurboTax with an H. Did you guys see what the Blue Ridge Rock Festival did to VIR?
The Blue Ridge Rock Festival. I did not. Why don't you?
They say, it got canceled and people destroyed it. Google the aftermath.
In regard to cancellation, asks for patience. All right. Well, we will look that up. And,
Here
hello.
we go. Copyright. Yeah.
Yep. Nope. Muted.
It's always something.
We'll look that up and do a little research and discuss it next week. Festival attendee Cherish Cheshak called the festival a scam. I absolutely believe that it was fraud.
Yeah,
So
good.
it must have
Good
been
tip.
at like Virginia International Raceway, I guess. That's...
They said people destroyed it, so I'm guessing they... I don't know. Well, how do you destroy a raceway? What do they do?
We'll find out. But no, I did not see what happened there.
It's good.
It's good information.
This was a good one. Do you remember our friend Bussin43 from a few weeks back who had that hot deal on a I forget what it was. It was a Targa. I forget what the price was. It's like 20.
Oh yeah, it was like their dad's friend or something like that.
Dad's coworker or something.
And I said go buy it right now.
He said he ended up passing on it because, and I have the thing here. If you bear with me here. He said the owner wants it. I don't have my glasses on. He said the owner wants to see it go to a purist. He wants it to be bought. This is rough, guys. I'm sorry. He wants it to be bought by a true fan. That's what he says.
Define that.
You telling me that Bussin wasn't a true fan?
It sounded like Bussin was.
So you know the best
real
way
one.
to determine that your car goes to a worthy home? Raise the price. Right? If your price is too low, then you're going to have opportunists. But typically the person that's willing to pay the most for it is the person who deserves it. That's, interestingly enough, an economic principle that I think our entire economy is built on. But usually that also works out such that people that are willing to pay enough for it actually appreciate it as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you're asking half of what it's worth and then get all, pissy about who buys your car, yeah.
Well, that was a bummer. I felt bad to see that he didn't get it.
That does suck.
Yeah.
He should just like redefine himself and go back next week. Like grow a mustache, buy a Porsche hat and, you know, some Porsche shoes and brush up on the model and come back next week and be more of a purist.
He said he had some photos of it from the owner. I'm trying to get him to pass them along to me, so maybe we'll have them for next week, but I'd like to take a peek at it. But yeah. Bummer. Sorry, bussin'.
We got Jeremiah Johnson. Welcome. Glad you didn't miss the show tonight. Send in a super chat. Hi, Doug. I sold my 04 Volvo S60R. I feel conflicted about it. Is the BRZ the best rear-wheel drive coupe?
Well, did he sell it to a dealer or a purist or an enthusiast?
I did not disclose.
Let's hope he didn't sell it to somebody who was going to make money off of it.
Yeah.
That would be immoral. He should be ashamed on behalf of the entire enthusiast community.
I should have expected sassy Doug tonight, but I really didn't.
I'm sorry, what was the real question?
It was, they feel conflicted about selling the S60R, which is unfortunate. You'll probably save a lot of money. You don't have to replace the suspension a bunch. Is the BRZ the best rear-wheel drive coupe? Yeah.
Is the BRZ the best rear-wheel drive coupe? No.
I would like some, Jeremiah, are there some qualifiers on that? Is it like for sale today?
There's a budget qualifier to it. So let's say 30 grand. I would throw the FD Miata in there as a contender. What? You can get it in the retractable hardtop thingamajigger. That's a coupe.
10 grand more than the BRZ.
He didn't say it has to be the exact amount. I'm getting crap from the peanut gallery here. You don't even have a mic. Nobody knows what's going on. You got to be like Mark Spence.
Or maybe I don't know.
A Mercedes 300 CD would be a great rear-wheel drive coupe.
Will it be?
I was going to say Honda S2000 with a hardtop.
Okay. I'm noticing a trend.
E92 M3. E46 M3.
Jeremiah qualifies it with purist.
Oh, Corvette C5 then.
Wow, that was his.
What is a purist? Does it have to be all original?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Arguably, a purist wouldn't get anywhere near a BRZ because purists don't have vape pens.
You make some good points. Also, the 911 exists.
Yes. Also, the 911 exists, but for that budget, you'd have to buy a 996 with gray interior. So.
Yeah, perfect. Let's go.
Or convince this guy's friend that you're enough of a purist to buy his Targa for way below market value. No, I don't think it's the best. It's a fine enough car. They're really good handling, but there's a lot of great cars out there. Maybe it's like the best modern car like within the last few years, but man, you go back 30 years, you open up a whole lot of options. Tons of options. Yeah.
Thomas Trimble on TikTok asked, opinion on a very clean 325 XI in stick, 220,000 miles. I could buy for 5,000 gray exterior, red interior.
Oh, thank goodness it wasn't a gray interior.
1988
That'll be
coupe,
overpriced.
Clean interior and exterior.
88?
1988 coupe.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not rusty, those engines are pretty bulletproof. Maybe need a valve adjustment and, friggin' roll it. But yeah, that's if it's not rusty, that engine should go forever. And did he say it was a stick?
Stick, yeah.
And for $5,000?
Heck yeah. That should be a barrel of fun for $5,000.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. And if you found a rear-wheel drive one, it would be a candidate for Jeremiah. Oh, that's another good one. The 330 ZHP. So like the almost M3.
Oh, yeah.
Those are fantastic for 20 plus or minus. Yeah.
All you, Tyler. I saw there's some more stuff in YouTube.
Yeah. Robbie211 asked earlier, and I'm curious if this for maybe not my own purchasing Goodness, words are tough. So how hard would it be for you to find a white 997 with a green interior? Did they make a green interior on a 997?
You could find one if you found two 997s at a salvage yard and put them together. That would be the easiest way to find it.
White over green would look good, though.
Golly, I've sold. I mean, the closest.
Like, no.
The closest. No, it would. I've sold a silver over palm green 997 turbo, which was a much more pleasing color than the Nephrite green, which I feel looks like a 50s kitchen sink.
Oh, in the best way, though.
Sure, yes, in the best way. Clean kitchen sink, not one with like food remnants in it. But this isn't green interior, but the closest to unicorn status is I sold a white over terracotta 997 factory X51 package with PCCBs.
Hacha.
Yeah. And then the guy wrecked it.
Yeah. It's always
Anyway,
something.
so if that existed, I'm sure there is a white over green one out there somewhere, but good friggin' luck.
You can find it in Tyler's dreams tonight.
Kind of, honestly. Ooh.
Meow, meow, meow. Have you ever driven... This guy's great, man. I love this one. Meow, meow, meow.
I told a cat story on VinWiki this week just for him.
Another one?
Another one. This did not involve a cat dying.
Unaliving. We're on TikTok. You can't... Yeah.
Why can't you say...
Yeah,
what?
weird protocol. Yeah, you have to say unalive instead of...
But I'm not like
D-word.
threatening anything. I'm just saying it did not involve something that did or did not happen. It's a simple verb, past tense.
I don't write the rules. I don't know what TikTok how they do it. Anyway, our friend Meow 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 says, "Have you ever driven AE86 Toyota Sprinter Truno? Are they worth the hype?"
I haven't.
Okay.
So I can't answer the
Can
second
it
question.
be worth the hype, though? Look, I'm as much of a fan of Initial D as the next like car dude who's also a fan of anime. It's got to be a trash car that you're paying $25,000 for because it's in an anime.
It is?
Yeah, it's like supposed to be some godlike car because if it's lightweight and balance and whatever, and the dude drifts it around some mountains.
Oh.
I guarantee you that it was nowhere near stock, though.
Oh, but in the
that
show, it was
that
supposed
was an
to be.
econo box.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not worth the 20 to 25,000 plus that people ask for them.
Oh, sure. I would say that, but I also haven't driven one, so maybe they're really, really good driving cars. But on that note, you could say most of the stuff out there is not worth the hype. An E30 BMW M3 is not a $150,000 driving experience. It's a fairly slow car that handles pretty well and has wide body fenders, but was also like 30 grand 5 years ago. So, yeah, probably not, but
We got another.
It does not beat the BRZ for best
That's
rear-wheel
true.
drive value.
Well, the BRZ is like the new version of that.
No, the GT86 is.
They're the same thing. Philip Moss has a super chat here on YouTube. What is your favorite SUV that is faster than it should be?
You're not going to like this answer because I have really no interest in any of the new like super SUVs, but it would be the Volkswagen Touareg TDI.
Like the V10 one?
No, sorry, the 2. So the V6 TDI, the 3 liter.
Okay.
Like 2014-15. Essentially the same as a Cayenne, and it's faster, not like crazy straight line speed. It topped out at like 126 miles an hour one point in Mexico, but the torque was incredible, and it had like the same acceleration with a trailer behind it as without one. Like it did Ford Super Duty things in a almost car package.
That's kind of amazing.
So yeah, it's faster in a different way. But, like, I don't know. I don't get excited about stuff like G65s and Uruses. And I'm like, I want a sports car. I don't need a 600-700 horsepower, $250,000 SUV. It just, none of them do anything for me.
Jake Jones, he asked us a little bit earlier. I actually had a whole episode covering a similar topic. Bad importing experiences. Is there one you want to point out more than?
Man, about 4,000 people had a bad importing experience last year when the Felicity Ace burned down and went to the bottom of the ocean.
Ayo.
I was not one of them, but I know a lot of people who had Porsches on that boat. Yeah. I don't have any dramatic stories. I mean, I had one that was just very, very confusing because the import broker that was handling it did not communicate well. And like when the car was halfway across the ocean, I realized that it wasn't insured. So I was like, oh, let me get an insurance policy real quick. But it ended up fine. It came in and cleared customs and everything. All's well that ends well. But it was kind of nerve-wracking, and I felt like I had to do everything for the customs broker that I had hired to do everything for me. So, but yeah, I've not had any nightmares like, ships being stuck in the Panama Canal or anything like that, which is happening right now with some people that I know. 'Cause it's dry. Yes. Drought.
I thought there was another ship.
Nope. No, I think that's the Suez Canal. Yes. All the canals. Just, they need a root canal in the canals.
And the peanut gallery needs to step it up tonight.
Just need a hanging mic over there.
Yeah.
No, let's not empower them.
All right, one more.
How
Did we
good
ever hear back from Mo on the
Oh, Mo did
The
say a little bit of
over-under?
it, over 25K. is
What?
what they said.
Okay. I'm taking the under, obviously.
Yeah, well, jeez. Yeah, you can have that. Watch it go for 25,001 penny.
Sorry. Sometimes I guess, not based on my knowledge of the market, but by my idea of like what something is worth intrinsically to me. And that car to me does not seem like a $25,000 experience.
Dan Doucette, does it seem like a $25,000 experience to you? Yay? Nay? He's sighing.
Might as well just get a 300D sedan for like a fraction.
Says
Right.
you.
A beater one for a fraction of the price.
Right.
Let the same experience.
Yeah.
Dan Doucette says just get a beater sedan for a fraction of the price. Same experience.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good looking car, but having a two-door big body Mercedes, if you can consider that a big body, but it's, I mean, sort of, it is pretty cool, but 25 grand.
You could get a 996 with gray interior for that kind of
You
money.
could. You could get a 996 cab and put 10 grand in your pocket with gray interior and maybe an automatic. But yeah, I mean, I look at it and go, I mean, frick, you could buy a Subaru BRZ for that.
Yeah. I would have a better experience in the BRZ.
Yep. Or a Toyota AE 86
Sprinter Turuno.
Gino Turuno, whatever.
What? All right. Doug's losing it.
All right. On that note, thank you all for joining us. We'll see you next week for better or for worse.